Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to, challenge some common ideas and really look at what shapes our lives.
That's right.
And today, we're asking something pretty fundamental about money. Is financial success really about, like, how smart you are, your math skills, or picking the right stocks?
Or is it something else? Something maybe more human?
Exactly. Is it something deep in our psychology?
Well, it's easy to get caught up in looking for complex strategies, isn't it? The secret formula, the next big thing.
Right.
But Morgan Housel, in his book, The Psychology of Money, which is fantastic, by the way, he argues the biggest factors aren't in spreadsheets, they're actually inside us.
Yeah, so this deep dive isn't going to be your usual how to invest guide.
No, not at all.
We're exploring the feelings, the psychology behind our money choices.
The messy human stuff.
Totally. So, for you listening, our mission today is to uncover some maybe surprising truths, how our behavior, our mindset, our self-control, how those are what really build wealth and, importantly, happiness with money.
We want to pull out those core lessons, the ones that might even seem a bit illogical at first.
Yeah, to help you get really informed about your own financial psychology. It's like understanding the operating system running behind the scenes,
And Housel really does reframe the whole thing. It's less about the mechanics of the market and much more about the stories we tell ourselves about money. And those stories, well, they drive a lot, for better or worse.
Okay, so let's dive into one of the first big ideas, one that really struck me. No one is crazy.
Ah, yes. Crucial concept.
It suggests that, whatever people do with their money, however odd it looks to us, it actually makes sense to them based on their own life, their experiences. How does that change things?
Fundamentally, think about it. Someone who lived through, say, the Great Depression or saw their parents lose everything in a recession.
Yeah.
Their view on debt, on risk, on needing cash savings, it's going to be totally different from someone who, grew up during a massive bull market where everything just seemed to go up.
So their actions aren't irrational. They're learned responses.
Exactly. They're perfectly rational responses to their reality. One person sees danger everywhere, the other sees opportunity. Neither is objectively wrong based on their own lens.
Wow. So judging someone else's weird money habit is kind of missing the point entirely.
It really is. It's a call for, like you said earlier, a kind of financial empathy. Pause before judging. Understand the history behind the decision. It changes how you see things.
Okay, so our personal history shapes us profoundly. But what about outside forces? Things we often think are about skill, but maybe aren't. That brings us to luck and risk matter more than we think.
Right. This one makes people uncomfortable sometimes.
Because we love the story of the self-made person, right? All hard work. Or the flip side, someone fails, must have been their fault.
Exactly. But Housel argues pretty convincingly that luck, good and bad, and risk play these massive, often unseen roles in where people end up financially.
So success isn't just hard work, and failure isn't always a mistake. Chance is a huge factor.
A huge factor. And admitting that, really internalizing it, leads to humility. It means you got to be careful about putting billionaires on pedestals or kicking people when they're down based only on their financial outcome.
Because you don't know how much was skill versus just, being in the right place at the right time. Or the opposite.
Precisely. The line is way blurrier than we like to think.
Okay, this is interesting because, we humans, we crave certainty. We want control. Which connects to the next point. You believe anything. If we want certainty so badly in a world that's, let's face it, pretty uncertain.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes it vulnerable, right? To bad predictions, scams, even just our own overconfidence.
Oh, absolutely vulnerable. Our brains just don't like ambiguity. It's uncomfortable. We want neat stories, clear answers.
So anyone offering a guarantee, a sure thing,
becomes very appealing, even if deep down we should know better. This is why Housel stresses humility and skepticism. They aren't just personality traits. They're like a psychological defense mechanism.
protection against people exploiting that need for certainty.
Exactly. Guarding your own mind becomes crucial.
So that need for certainty, maybe combined with always wanting more, can mess with our judgment. It can lead us down this path of chasing things that look like wealth but aren't.
Which brings us neatly to never enough.
Right, the danger of constantly moving the goalposts. What's the core issue here?
It's a treadmill, a dangerous one. Because enough isn't really a number, is it? It's often tied to who we compare ourselves to, our ego.
Social media probably doesn't help there.
Oh, it pours gasoline on the fire. Housel's point is that finding your enough is an internal job. It's about knowing when to step off the treadmill, focusing on stability and happiness, not just more, more, more.
It sounds almost philosophical, defining your own enough.
It kind of is. It requires self-awareness more than a calculator.
Okay, so if enough is internal and not just a big number, what is wealth then? Housel flips the script with, wealth is what you don't see.
Yes, this is so important. We see the fancy car, the big house, the expensive watch.
The visible stuff.
The visible stuff. And we think, wow, they're wealthy. But Housel says, hold on, that's evidence of spending, potentially lots of debt. True wealth is often invisible. It's the money not spent, the investments quietly growing, the savings account that gives you options but isn't flashy. The person driving the 10-year-old car might be financially independent, while the one in the brand new luxury SUV might be drowning in payments.
So appearances are really deceptive in finance.
Incredibly deceptive. Real wealth is often quiet, unseen freedom.
Okay, freedom. That feels like a good transition. If wealth isn't just about buying stuff, what's the ultimate point? Housel says freedom is the highest dividend of wealth.
This is, for me, one of the most powerful ideas in the book.
Why is that?
Because it shifts the goal entirely. It's not about affording luxury goods. It's about affording control over your life, your time.
Being able to choose what you do, when you do it, who you do it with.
Exactly. Financial independence gives you the power to say no to things you don't want to do and yes to things that genuinely matter to you. That autonomy, that control over your own schedule and choices, that's the real prize money can buy, more than any object.
Okay, that reframes the goalpost significantly. Let's get into some practical pillars then. How do we build this kind of wealth, this freedom? First up, compounding is the eighth wonder.
The magic of compounding, earning returns on your returns.
We sort of know it intellectually, but what's the really mind-bending part Housel highlights?
It's that time is the dominant force, much more so than the initial amount, or even sometimes the rate of return.
So starting early, even small, beats starting late and big.
Often, yes. Dramatically so. Look at Warren Buffett. Obviously brilliant, but his real secret weapon? Starting investing as a kid and letting compounding run for, 70, 80 years?
Decades and decades.
That incredible runway of time did the heavy lifting. It shows patience isn't just, nice to have. It's a financial superpower.
Time over timing, maybe. Or time over sheer amount.
Something like that, yeah. Time is the crucial multiplier.
Okay, so time helps you get wealthy. But then there's getting wealthy versus staying wealthy. Housel says these are different. How so?
Totally different mindsets and skill sets. Getting wealthy often involves taking risks, being optimistic, maybe being aggressive, seizing opportunities.
Right.
Staying wealthy, that requires the opposite almost. Humility, frugality, a deep fear of losing what you have. Survival becomes the priority, not necessarily maximizing gains.
So the optimism that helped you build it could actually endanger it later.
It could. You might take risks you no longer need to take. Staying wealthy is more about defense than offense, like climbing the mountain versus setting up camp near the summit. Different challenges.
That makes sense. And underpinning all of this, maybe the simplest but most powerful idea, save money.
You got it. Sounds basic, right?
Almost too basic.
But
Housel hammers it home. It's less about your income and more about your savings rate.
exactly. We focus so much on earning more, but controlling your spending, widening that gap between income and expenses, that's where the power lies.
Because you control your spending more directly than your income or market returns.
Absolutely. Even on a modest income, a high savings rate leads directly to building wealth and independence. It's the most reliable lever you can pull.
So you don't need to be a math whiz optimizing everything perfectly, which leads to reasonable rational.
Yes. Thank goodness, right?
Yeah. What does he mean by aiming for reasonable, not perfectly rational?
It means don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. A financial plan you can actually stick with consistently year after year, even if it's not theoretically optimal, is far, far better than some complex, rational strategy that's too hard or stressful to maintain, so you just give up. Consistency beats short-term intensity. Being pretty good for a long time is better than being brilliant for a short time.
Behaving well beats being clever.
That sums it up nicely.
Which ties into the next idea, because life happens. Room for error. Building in a margin of safety.
Absolutely critical. Life is messy and unpredictable. Things go wrong.
Recessions, job losses, health issues.
You name it. So building cushions, emergency funds, maybe investing a bit more conservatively than you think you need to. Avoiding excessive debt isn't inefficiency. It's resilience.
It's what lets you survive the unexpected without blowing up your whole plan.
Exactly. It's planning for the fact that your plan probably won't go exactly according to plan. It's insurance against reality.
Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Adapting to change, embracing who we are. He also points out you will change.
Oh, definitely. Our goals, our desires, what we value, it's not static.
What I wanted at 20 is very different from what I want now.
Right. So how do you plan long-term finances for a future self you don't even know yet?
Good question.
The advice is build in flexibility. Avoid locking yourself into super rigid long-term financial commitments that might feel like handcuffs later when your priorities shift. Keep options open.
Plan for change, because change is guaranteed.
Pretty much. Your finances need to bend, not break, as you evolve.
And just as we change, we're also all different from each other.
Which is the point, you and me.
Yes. Everyone's situation is unique. Goals, timelines, risk tolerance. It's all personal.
So seeing your neighbor get rich in crypto or your friend buy a rental property, blindly copying them is a bad idea.
A very bad idea. It's tempting, especially when someone seems successful, but their circumstances, their stomach for risk, their timeline, it's not yours.
You have to play your own game.
You absolutely have to play your own game, making decisions based on your life, your goals, your comfort level with risk, not someone else's highlight reel.
Speaking of things that grab our attention, the seduction of pessimism. Why does bad news seem to travel faster and sound smarter?
It's interesting, isn't it? Pessimism often sounds more intellectual, more cautious, maybe because predicting doom feels safer than predicting progress.
And optimism can sound naive. Sometimes, yeah. But Housel counters this by looking at the long arc of history. Despite constant crises, setbacks, wars, pandemics, the overall trend has been forward. Economies grow, markets eventually recover.
So long-term optimism isn't foolish, it's just historically accurate.
Largely, yes. It's not about ignoring risks, but about understanding that progress and recovery are powerful forces over time. Pessimism often gets the headlines, but optimism has generally won the long game.
Okay, last big concept,
Mm.
tails drive everything. This sounds statistical, but what's the practical meaning?
It means that most outcomes, especially in complex systems like investing or even careers, aren't driven by the average event. They're driven by the extremes, the tails of the distribution.
So a few things have a massive impact.
A massive disproportionate impact. In investing, a tiny number of your investments might generate the vast majority of your total returns over decades. Think of like buying Amazon or Apple early.
The huge winners.
The huge winners. But the flip side is also true. A few really big mistakes, like panicking and selling everything at the bottom of a crash or taking on way too much debt, can wipe out years of good habits.
So the takeaway is?
Avoid the catastrophic mistakes. Stay in the game long enough to let the positive tail events, the big winners, or the long run of compounding work for you. Survival and endurance matter immensely.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot to digest, but incredibly insightful. We've journeyed through the psychology of money, and the big message seems clear.
Yeah, it really boils down to something quite human.
Right. True financial success isn't really about genius IQ scores or finding some complex secret strategy or outsmarting everyone else.
No, it seems it's much more about patience, about discipline, about humility, knowing what you don't know, and really understanding our own behavior.
Understanding that money isn't just numbers on a screen. It's tied up with our feelings, our past experiences, what we value.
Absolutely. If you can get a handle on your own financial psychology, that gives you enormous leverage, maybe more than anything else. It's about applying these, timeless behavioral ideas consistently.
So as we wrap up, maybe something for you, our listener, to think about. Which specific idea from this deep dive really hit home for you personally? What insight resonated the most?
Yeah, and maybe how could understanding that part of your own psychology change how you approach your next money decision, or even how you think about your long-term plan?
Something to chew on. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.
We'll see you next time.